And welcome into episode 23 of Cosmic Koolaid. I am your host, Corey Short, and I have a woman in the booth with me today that I've been a fan of my entire life, dating back to preschool age, where I had her vinyl album in my hand, running around my house, thinking I knew somebody super famous, and she's had a career ever since, all over the region, Myrtle Beach, Asheville, everywhere in between and beyond. Miss Marsha Morgan, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. You are truly one of Asheville's most successful musicians, I think. You've played everywhere on every kind of stage imaginable. And I'm in awe of you. And you're just so sweet to everybody you come across. And I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. It's
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did. Of course, I ate too much like everybody else.
Yeah, I'd been doing pretty well. I was down about 12 pounds, but I found all of them that day, I think. So take me back to the beginning of your musical journey. Where did it start for you?
It started for me as about a 4 or 5 year old little girl with my grandmother taking me to church. And I decided I wanted to sing for the whole congregation. And my aunt was the piano player. And so I sang "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands" as I jumped up on top of that piano.
So you jumped up on top of the piano and just,
Yep.
They didn't ask you to do that. That was all on your own.
They asked me to sing, but they didn't ask me to jump on the piano. And then, of course, I do the hand motions and everything.
So did that exuberant
Yes.
performer, and did that carry over?
Definitely. I said, this is it. This is what I want to do.
So what was next after that? Like, was there a middle school chorus, high school? Where
I
did you go?
didn't do that. I was in theater in high school and stuff with your father.
With my father, and that's where
we were
your
in-
daughter Erin got it from.
That's right. She was in, your father and I were in Paint Your Wagon and some other plays in high school. And then my daughter was in plays in high school, and
I didn't know that. My dad was in a musical?
he was.
Did he sing?
Yes.
What? I swear to you, I never knew this. This is brand
And
new
he
information.
danced, and he did the little click the heels like in Paint Your Wagon.
Wow. Wow. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of video cameras floating around.
Oh, there was none.
in
of course.
1973. So
That's right.
Yeah. Wow, what a cool story. I had no idea. I'm gonna have to talk that over with Mom. Let her tell me her memory of that. That's pretty great. I never did any musicals. My kids did. And
Your kids are great in them, aren't they?
they enjoyed it a good bit. But I know Erin, your daughter's super into it.
Oh, yes.
And
she's a great singer, too.
so you all have done a couple of shows.
We have. I'll tell you about that.
Yeah. Okay. So we started out in church, and then when did you realize that it's time to go pro? It's time to start gigging and making money.
When I went to clubs and saw bands, and I thought, I can do that. And so I went for a couple auditions and got my very first one, and then decided that was local. And then I went to Atlanta and auditioned for, back then, this is late 70s, that a lot of bands were called show bands, and you went on the road and you traveled, and that's what I did.
So were you pursuing this right out of high school?
No, I went to college.
You did go to college. Okay.
And then I ended up getting my master's at UNCA.
Okay.
But
Awesome. What's your master's in?
fine arts.
Fine arts. Ever any desire to teach theater or work
I
in the
did
schools?
teach theater
You did?
for 10 years at Irwin Middle School.
Okay. Learn something every day.
Yeah, and then I would be singing at the Grove Park Inn on the weekends.
I do remember that. And
Yep.
then you did a lot of work in the Myrtle Beach area too.
Yeah, then I moved to Myrtle Beach in 98 and worked day and night. You could work doubles down there. I couldn't do a double today, but I did then.
I know we're moving fast here and covering a lot of ground. What's your favorite venue that you ever played?
Harris,
Casino?
the big stage.
The big stage.
I got to play on the big stage, and for the $1 Million Gamblers, the $1 Million Club.
Yeah.
And I had an 8-piece band for that, and they were celebrating the year 2000, and it was the year 2000, and it was really cool. All the guys in the band had to dress as space characters, and I had a long silver wig on and space suit, and they made a prop that was the spaceship that came down, and we got to walk out from the spaceship and go to our instruments, and I had 3 horn players that night, and it was really great. Their lighting system is the best.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they got deep pockets.
They do. a lot of deep
Real deep pockets. Yeah. They got tables with some games that, a single hand pays more than I make in a year.
Oh,
so.
well, yeah, but
High
I couldn't
rollers.
believe, that's what it was called, the high roller party. But I thought all those people in the audience, all of them, the manager or whatever said, every person in here has spent over $1 million in this casino. And I thought, that's a lot of people.
So the career spans how many decades?
4.
4 full decades of music.
Yes. I've gotten to do a lot of things. I told somebody when I was sick one time, my last bad sickness, well, it wasn't a sickness. I fell down the stairs at the House of Blues. You saw me in my back brace and everything like that. And I broke my back at the House of Blues in Myrtle Beach. And I told everybody, if I die from this, I have had the best life in music. And I have been blessed, and I don't regret a thing. I've lived through all those decades getting to do what I love.
And it's so funny you say that, because as a 15-year karaoke DJ, which is what led to all this. I was a karaoke DJ,
and you were a great singer too. I've watched you and Aaron sing together.
I'm gonna call it okay singer.
You and Aaron killed it.
Aaron's a great singer, and Aaron made me look good at times.
Well, that Jason Aldean song you guys did together was great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But it's funny you say that, because I have had so many singers come through my karaoke world that were so good. But for them, it was either, a Sony record deal or bust.
Right.
And there's so much more you can do with music, and you're a perfect example of that. You've had an incredible career over multiple states and huge stages. And I just wish, more people didn't give up so quick.
Well, that's I'll never give up. I'm not a quitter. And like you said, if you love what you do, it's what you do. It's who you are. It's in your soul, and I can't help that.
One example of that also is Caleb Johnson. He won American Idol. He really didn't get any support from American Idol, from radio.
COVID hit. He was my student.
From radio, then COVID hit, and somehow he's finding a way to keep himself. I mean, obviously his voice is helpful. But he's keeping himself relevant. He's doing the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
That's wonderful, and that's a hard gig.
And now he is Meatloaf in the Meatloaf Band. Like, what a great! I mean, Caleb Johnson, the name is not ringing around America, but he's doing what he loves.
That's right,
and it's great.
That's so true.
And he's such a good kid too. I'm glad.
You talked in other interviews about timing, and all these things are very relevant. The timing, because you'll see on a story I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, well, we are going to get into some stories from Marsha's career that spanned 4 decades, and hear some fun stuff from the road. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Brandy Lamke. I'm the business owner of Coastal Wellness NC. We are a totally mobile IV hydration business that is offered here in Western North Carolina, a nursing dispatching company for the public. What that entails is our consumer, when needed, will call us at our 855 IV2U, and they will choose the option of Asheville, and they will tell the person that answers the phone who they are, what they need, and we will dispatch a nurse to their location. We have a menu available. It shows all of our IVs that are available and for what causes, tells you what supplements are included. If you are experiencing IV drip, is just a basic drip for us, but you wanted to add some vitamin B12 to it, you can do that for a little extra money. Our nurses are very caring, and we have expert stickers. All of our nurses have done IVs for years. We have an online wellness shop where you can purchase vials of B12. You can also order semaglutide for weight loss. Monjourno is also another one, and those are our biggest sellers, are the weight loss.
So I'd never tried IV therapy before. My friend told me about Coastal Wellness. They came out to my house. It's a mobile unit, no mobile fee. I didn't have to worry about meeting the deductible for my insurance, which is really high. They came straight out to my house. I got the IV fluids. The next day I was feeling great and wonderful, and the nurse even called the next day to check and see how I was feeling.
And welcome back to episode 23 of Cosmic Koolaid. We got the incredibly beautiful and talented Miss Marsha Morgan in the room. And so glad to have you here. And it's an honor. I've looked up to you my whole life, and it's just really neat that you're here.
I think that I was excited about coming.
Good. So you brought some cool memorabilia from your
did.
career. Tell me about that. What'd you
Well,
got there?
this is the first album that you had of me.
That's the one. I was like, I know somebody famous.
Well, I got to tell you a weird story, but I'm a lot older than you, and I am not computer savvy.
Sure. And I'll put that up on the big screen too while we're talking so they can see what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. But my granddaughter, who goes to Appalachian, she told me that I don't know the website, I don't know anything about it, but there's a place that she's into vinyls. And
They've made quite the comeback.
oh, they're huge.
Yeah.
And I said, thank God people have got an ear that I love that sound. Corey, this is going to sound weird, but I love that sound when the needle first touches, and
I know exactly what you're talking about.
that hits my heart, that sound right there. Anyway, she called me, Mimi, you're not going to believe this. People have your album for sale. And I said, what? And she said, there are 19 people, and that's a lot, looking for your album. So I need to come over and get a box of them and sell it and make me some money. I said, okay. But isn't that funny? Here's me.
That's incredible. Was she able to sell them all?
Well, she didn't come. She's in school still.
Okay.
I told her to come during Christmas break.
But there's actually a website where you can go look up independent rare finds.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then there's reviews. So I was reading them. One guy wrote, he loved they're all original on here. And everybody on this album is famous but me. Paul Davis, who you know from I Go Crazy and Cool Night and all that. His band played on here and on the whole album. And some guy was saying, I really love the Art Deco. I mean, I didn't know it was Art Deco. I just liked it. Yep. I loved red. And I designed that set. And we shot that downtown in Scott Moore's studio and laid down the tiles. Those are cheapy Walmart tiles that were beige. And we took them to a car painting shop. And they painted so it would reflect of red and white. And we laid it all down. And the title cut is in my room. And I wanted me looking into me, looking back at me. We made it all up. So that was cool.
And I remember that like it was yesterday. And I probably haven't seen that picture in 30 years. But yeah, that's wild.
That's right. That brings it back down.
What else you got there?
Well,
how many total albums did you make?
I have 3.
Okay.
I'll just show you those 2 now. Then I got in the beach world and beach music. And this was my first beach music. And they didn't really, the beach music record companies didn't know how to take me at first. I was too much of a rocker for a beach. I wasn't sweet. I mean, I am sweet, but some of that, I need to put a little sass.
Sure.
Because that's who I am.
You had a little edge to you.
Yeah. And so my first beach CD is Rockin' the Beach. So that's what they called me. And then I won 2 awards for this. So Beach Music Awards. And this is my newer one.
Was that like a best of kind of Myrtle Beach situation that you won there for that?
I won
voted on by
Duo of the Year.
Sweet.
A song called Private Number with a guy singer named Gary Lauder. And then I won Rising Star. And I was like 48 years old or something, being Rising Star winner. And I was like, okay, I thought you're supposed to win that in your 20s, but I'll take it whenever I can get it.
Hey, absolutely. Age ain't nothing but a number.
That's right. And this is my new one. It's only been out about a year. And from the mount, I decided I needed to go back to my roots. So we went up to Grove Park Inn and took a picture of the mount of the city, Asheville, and then this couple was walking on the beach, and we put them all together. So it's called From the Mountains to the Sea. And this year it was nominated for Solo Album of the Year. I didn't win. Jackie Gore, who's of the Embers that wrote I Love Beach Music, won. Imagine that. So anyway, but I was proud to be nominated for Solo Album of the Year. But life is as you know, all about sliding doors. You know what that means?
Tell me your take on it.
It's from the old movie with Gwyneth Paltrow. Something happens and you go that way, or if you'd not made that decision, you would have went that way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a huge sliding door that could have changed my life. I was so blessed that Billy Ed Wheeler liked my album, but of course it was too rock and roll for him. But he sent me to Chet Atkins, who was president of RCA Records in Nashville. And so Chet was going to see what he could do for me. Some of these are so funny, but here's me trying to get in country music. I don't think that works.
Those look like MC Hammer pants.
They probably were. They probably were. But then I decided, when I was a rocker, I brought you some pictures of me being a rocker back then when I decided to really go rock. But
no, we'll definitely.
Paul Davis, God love him. He's passed away now.
Yeah.
But what an honor to record a whole album with him singing backup on a duet on there called Looking for a Light. If you get a chance to hear Looking for a Light, anybody, you can pull it up on YouTube. We have a little video that goes with it from a few years back.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is with Chet, and this is me in his office, and that was really cool. But this is the one I'm proud of, me holding all his Grammys.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah, this is going to be me one day, And then that day, there was a filming of Hee Haw. Well, I was kind of cynical. I admit it. I wasn't a country music fan. I just wasn't. I wanted to be Pat Benatar.
Right.
And
you weren't trying to be Winona Judd just yet.
Not yet.
That came later.
That came later. But I didn't know anybody. I mean, there wasn't people like that in country. This is 1986. Reba had just started, and I thought she was so country, but there wasn't a Garth Brooks or, Trisha Yearwood, nobody kind of cool.
Right.
And I didn't want that. But he took me backstage to rehearse with the $1 Million Band. Floyd Kramer, Boots Randolph. I'm sure you've heard of the $1 Million Band.
Oh, yeah.
Here they all are.
How was that experience playing with them? Was it just chills?
I was in awe. I just stood there and we sang Amazing Grace.
Oh, man. I don't even know that I would have been able to get breath out.
I mean, it was
in
so
that
cool.
crowd.
And here's Chet sitting at his desk, and me and Chet. And he wanted me to go country. That's me and the girlfriend I took with me to Nashville. I was scared to go by myself. And we stayed at his house for a couple of days. His wife took care of us for a couple of days. Compliments to Billy Ed Wheeler. He hooked me up. Oh, and there's Butch Randolph, Floyd Kramer.
So who is, go ahead and list
So this
off.
sliding door was, I said, no, I don't want to be country. And then look what country turned into. I could have been Tanya Tucker.
Absolutely. Well, I guess back then it was very different.
Oh, very different. There was only Loretta Lynn, Tammy Wynette. Now, Tanya Tucker was there, but I think she was in a bad place, like with Glenn Campbell and doing some things that maybe some of us has done that we don't want to do.
You were a rock star, and it was the 80s. And you
That's right.
It was,
I wanted to rock it.
Nobody wanted to be a country star in the 80s. You wanted to be a rock and roll girl.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, sometimes your decisions and your direction is probably changed for a reason, but I don't know the reason. But I just didn't give up on music and kept going.
Yeah. Well, I have discovered some of that doing these podcasts. I didn't realize how much I would love them, and I really love doing interviews with people a lot. And
you're really good at it.
So much so that it could change how I spend my next 20 years. Like it started out as just a fun little, let's try it, interview some
You could
cool
be Howard
artists,
Stern.
I really love it. And
you can tell you love it.
Yeah, it's fun. I want to take this studio out on the road. We got it in a camper now, so I want to head to Nashville and get Jelly Roll in here. You know what I mean?
Do you have a picture of you and him?
Somewhere I do. One of my staff has the photo because I just jumped in there and they snapped it. I gotta find that.
I'm telling you what, I love that song.
Oh man, and
it made me cry, and it takes a lot to make this old woman cry. I'm telling you, I've been through it.
And Marsha, Jelly Roll's the nicest guy. I mean, the nicest guy. He was hugging, loving on everybody, bear hugging, spinning around his fans. Like, that's how you have longevity in this
That's
business.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You don't want me, I'm a disaster." And I think of me back at different times in my life. I've been a disaster, but I just got to keep on going.
Keep going, and the world is showing him right now that we are a forgiving people. You know?
Oh, definitely.
Nobody is defined by their past.
And nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect, and he's great. And I hope
One
you
more
get
thing,
I hope you get to meet him one day.
I
'cause
would
he's
love
awesome.
to meet him
Yeah.
because one thing that's a little different about him and Dolly is they just say it. You accept it or you don't. They don't hide it. Dolly, have you had surgery? Oh, yeah, I've had surgery. And I said to my friends, well, Dolly's had all these surgeries. I said, honey, if I had that money, I'd have them too. And
Yeah,
Jelly Rolls, have you ever done lines of cocaine? I've done more lines of cocaine than you can imagine, says Jelly Roll. So, And
Have you ever got to meet Dolly?
no.
So walk me down the path of some of the stars that you've got to rub elbows with doing this.
Oh, well, I got to be a guest on American Music Awards in 1986, and that was part of We Are the World, if anybody's old enough to remember that. But everybody got to be on stage at the end of the show, and I got to go up there and be a part of it.
How cool!
I know, that was really, really wonderful.
So like Whitney and everybody that were on stage
yeah,
with you. At
and
that
Whitney
time.
was there. I got to go to her rehearsal.
That's great.
And Diana Ross's rehearsal. That was really fun. I sat 2 seats down from George Michael, and back then I weighed about 118, 25 maybe. He was like half my size. I thought, damn, I'm so fat compared to him. But it was great. I got to sit on the stand on the stage with Huey Lewis and Cyndi Lauper. So that was my little place to sit. And my name tag says unknown talent. I've still got it.
Do you have a favorite performance that you've ever given? This was my defining moment. Take your time. We can edit out the gap.
My defining moment is when I decided to start doing my shows.
Now, when you
Which
say
am I-
that, you mean ticketed, like a ticketed?
Yes. Legalize the name Marsha Morgan Presents.
Mhm.
And I thought, it's time. People have been good to me. Music's been good to me. It's time to give back. So I started at the beach and doing shows with a charity sponsor that I sponsored, and sold tickets and had different guest artists. But I paid them. I mean, and I looked up 501(c), and you can do all of that. You know, your expenses, your artists. But then I gave the charity the money left
Sure.
after it all. And it was such a success. I started out at a small venue at an Italian restaurant called 88's at Rossi's in Myrtle Beach, and it sold out in about 2 days because we only had like 88 seats because it was called 88's. Then I had to move to 2001, but now it's 3001. And the shows just grew, and I had senators there talking, and every Christmas I did one for Shop with a Cop. Have you ever heard of that? You know, it's a thing
I think I
that
have.
police departments a lot all over the country do. They help underprivileged children. And I would bring a child in and interview it, and they would say things that touched my heart, Corey. It was made me cry. They would say, we would give them all $100 each kid. I think they only chose 25 kids, but they shopped with a cop, so they were protected. And some of them said, Corey, they wanted a toothbrush and toothpaste for their mama and pajamas for their sister, things we take for granted.
Right.
I would never ask for a toothbrush and toothpaste for Christmas, but it really, really got my heart. And I thought, oh my God, we are so blessed, and we
So
don't
blessed.
even know it. You know, I am so thankful to God and to and at the beach, I started getting sponsors. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I have some great sponsors that help me and finance shows and programs for me,
Now,
like my shows and
Yeah,
stuff.
and they pay for studio time and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they
They're
do.
great to have.
They
Yeah.
do.
So when did you begin performing with Aaron? When did you all start doing shows together?
She always wanted to be a part of my show, and I always wanted her to be there. So the cool thing about the shows were they were dress up shows, and all girls like to dress up.
Absolutely.
We love to dress up. So, and
Are we talking like multiple costume changes throughout the
multiple
night?
costume. Yes, yes. Every song you had a different gown or a different, outfit.
Very cool.
And so I got Erin involved, and she really liked it, and so she just jumped right in there. And then at near the last one, we did the tribute to the Judds, and of course she's Winona and I'm Naomi. And I said, this really isn't fun because Naomi only sings the backup parts, and I'm way in the background.
Well, that is a show that we are very interested in bringing to Silverados this summer. So we're going to have to talk about that. I think Asheville needs it. I saw it down at Myrtle Beach and immediately knew that we had to have it up here. So we got to make that happen. I say that's assuming you still have those band members and you would still be interested. Maybe
Well,
you're not,
I'm always interested in doing good shows like that.
But I remember what I lost a minute ago. What we were talking about was you, the using your platform for charity, for helping others,
And I'd never even thought about that. In my younger years, just never thought about that. And then when I did it, I felt that feeling.
Yeah, and it's a great feeling. And for me, I've never had the feeling of being a successful musician or singer, but so my bank account would not paint the picture of somebody that has done the things that I've done because I always pump it right back into the business. One day it will. It will reflect that. But right
really
now it all goes right back in.
That's like me buying new equipment. All my money, I buy new equipment.
So, I'm on a 10, 15 year just funneling it back in business. But the times where I feel successful are when have a room full of people raising money for somebody hurting. And I know that I did that.
That's exactly right.
My platform did that. My voice got these people here. That's when I feel successful.
And you are.
And it feels great to be able to do that.
Yeah.
That is success.
And you can't let shysters that say they need money for this or that, and they're not. It's not real.
Yeah.
And that hurts you.
It does. And there's going to be a bad apple in every group that find a way to screw up a good thing. But as long as we keep doing the right thing.
That's right.
And
the cream's going to rise to the top, baby.
Absolutely. So what is the future hold for the Marsha Morgan?
Well, I just healed. Got back to being 100% back to normal, so to speak.
Are you comfortable sharing what you healed from?
Yes, I fell down the stairs at the House of Blues.
So
and broke my back.
I thought that was an old story. The broken back
2 years.
Oh wow!
I was out of work, didn't get to sing anything I did, and I came and did a show for you in a back brace, and was hurting, and because I wanted to play with Blackberry Smoke, and
that's right.
And
it's all clear now. Everything's such a blur in this business.
Oh,
it all
it
goes
is
so fast.
It is.
Oh, but yeah.
And I'm sure you get lots of people, entertainers in and out, and some are easier to work with than others, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Most of them are good, but most are good. There's a few. And
then their managers start being ugly, and
yeah,
and it's not really the people in the band like Blackberry Smoke. They were nice guys, but they weren't nice to my band.
Blackberry Smoke band members are nice. Their tour manager can be a bit, he's tough.
He's tough. Difficult.
He might have given my staff a little bit of PTSD, but
that's right.
But he has a job to do, and his job is to make sure that band has a perfectly smooth day at our expense.
That's right.
And he does his job very well. Now, we leave traumatized, but the band has a great day. And because of that, they're coming back again.
I thought Danny Eller was going to have a heart attack. They were throwing his drums out the door.
Yeah, 2024 is coming, and they're coming back for 2 nights. It's looking like
Oh, that's
year,
great.
back to back. So
that's great.
We hope. It's still in the works, but we're definitely building a relationship with those guys that should last for several years.
Oh, that's great. I really enjoy their music.
Yeah, they're a great band.
Are you having Oliver Anthony back?
Ooh, the question of the hour. I don't think this year. He is.
No.
He's going to be playing some big arenas and traveling around the world. And our little 3,000 seat slice of heaven in Black Mountain probably won't fit into his schedule this year, but he'll be back. We made good friends.
That's good.
And he's made good friends with Jason Ward, who's our big sponsor. And
is he
like
the,
we're
the
probably
guy
going
that
to
was
see him.
on?
Yeah. He's the Trinity Farms hemp company.
Right,
guy,
right.
Yeah. He's got like 250,000 followers. He's famous in his own way.
Right.
So Jason's great though. He's funny.
He's cute.
The lady, yeah, he's good looking. The ladies like him, particularly his wife, Amy. We're not trying to farm him out. Don't worry. But no, he's great, and he's great for business at Silverados. He has a gift to make really good friends with all these guys, probably because he's got his own followers.
Yeah,
Once
there you
you have the credibility there that he has to.
Right.
But no, Jason's great. He's become one of my best friends, and I love working with him on these shows. It's fun. Yeah.
That's good.
So we're going to take one more break and come back for a final segment with the lovely Miss Marsha Morgan, a longtime friend of mine and my family's, a 4-year tenured songbird who has been rocking the Southeast all these years, and just an honor to have her on. We'll be right back. And welcome back to our third and final episode of Cosmic Koolaid. I'm your host, Corey Short, the lovely Miss Marsha Morgan, walking us through the journey of her career. And again, I just want to thank you for coming on and taking the time. I know you're a busy lady.
Not as busy as I hope to be in 2024, I hope.
Yeah, so you're planning a massive comeback this year, huh?
I am. So I'm looking around, checking out for some new musicians to add to the the party.
What's the largest band that you've ever been in? Like how many pieces?
10.
Okay. So that's keys, that's fiddle, that's the whole everything?
Not fiddle.
Okay.
But horns, whole horn sections, you know. Well, I did play short time with the big band, but then that wasn't me. That's like, I don't know, 28 people.
Marsha, are you a songwriter?
I am a joint songwriter. I get an idea or a thing in my mind, and then I hook up with somebody. Like I got credit on some of these songs with Paul Davis because we all sat in the back room and everybody worked together. Now, see, some artists don't like to work with the group, the songwriting team, but I do because I like getting. That's what I do to every band member that I work with. They are welcome to throw in ideas.
And that's a big thing in Nashville is those songwriter rounds. Like I know
they are.
Ryan Perry goes over and he'll sit with a team of 3 or 4 people and they'll come out with a whole album of material.
Right.
In a day. Yeah.
Because the old saying, 2 heads are better than one.
Sure.
And they may take your idea to a different level and you're like, oh man, why didn't I think of that?
What does someone have to do to get credit on the songwriting bill? Like how much do they have to contribute? Like if they're just sitting over in the corner and they're like, ooh, how does this sound? And then like, are they now a songwriter?
No.
If we use it?
Probably not.
I wonder where that threshold is.
There is a threshold, but usually you share credit. You'll share credits.
Okay.
And the publishing, is the big deal. That's who gets your money. That's why Dolly wouldn't let Elvis record
Got it.
I'll Always Love You.
So do you, you've told us about some of these major names that you've played with and rubbed elbows with. And I know like your lineage goes back to the Warren Haynes days here in town.
Right.
Tell me some of the other local cats that you like playing with. Like you played with the Mascaries, I'm sure.
Many times. Yeah. Yeah, I love them.
Tell me some of your other local musicians
Well,
that you enjoy.
of course, Danny's been my drummer, Danny Eller.
Yeah,
for
love Danny.
the whole time, on and off for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
And Jim Rhodes, my bass player, has been with me back in the Horizon days. In that picture, that's why I brought that for funny. The 80s look, you can't deny. Everybody, the guys were wearing eyeliner, and my hair was teased up that big. It's been a journey, but I think it's been a great journey, and I don't mind the travel and that eating at McDonald's or whatever.
Do you plan on doing a lot more Myrtle Beach stuff, or are you back here?
I really would like to start being back in Western North Carolina more.
Okay.
And let me tell you, I've done it all. I've played the Dives, Homers, and Waynesville to the Grove Park Inn,
Yep.
And my belief, I am here for the audience. I really am. And like you were asking somebody about set lists, I think I always have a basic set list, but I don't go by them all the time because I go with the crowd. If the crowd's ready to dance and party, I'll switch it around, and because I do a big variety of music, from Van Morrison to my own music to Prince. If they're ready for that, then I'm ready for that. You got to, it's the energy.
Right.
That's why I'm here, for the energy. I give them energy, they give it back to me, and it goes back and forth. That's what it's all about.
It is all about that. And I know that very well as a DJ. I have to be able to read the room.
Yeah, you got to read the room.
I think that's the real gift of the entertainer, is
Right.
being able to bring yourself to their level, whatever that is.
Whatever that is. And you, from night to night, you don't know your demographic. It could be like a table of 25 older people, or whatever. You really need to play to the audience. That's what we're here for. We're here for the audience. And I disagree with a lot of people that want to play only music they like. Well, that doesn't work. I think those people are short-sighted and short-lived in the music business.
Short-sighted, short-lived, and I mean, you only get that luxury at the very, very top of the game.
That's right. And you're not there. Unless
Right.
you're there, you don't have that.
No, if you're a working, touring musician, you got to meet your audience in the
You
middle.
do. You have to. But that, I don't mind it. Like Mustang Sally, I dread it and don't want to play it. But if somebody really, really, really wants it, then we'll do it.
Billy Joel feels that way about Piano Man.
Oh, I bet he
He
does.
despises it, hates it. I saw a long interview on that. He wishes he didn't have to play it.
Well,
But
he's
it's the
got
one that
to.
made his whole career.
That's
Yeah.
right. But I guarantee, that's what I was going to say. I guarantee you he has to do it at every show.
Tell me a couple of musicians that have made a significant influence on your style.
Some of the rockers still. I just saw Grace Potter last week
You saw her live?
at the Orange Peel
Yeah,
last
she's
week.
great.
And I love her little hand motions. I'm going to put a couple of those in now. She's doing this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, all entertainers steal ideas and movements
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff from everybody. They take what they can feel comfortable with. And I really still like the old people that set the pace, like Etta, Billie Holiday. I go back to that roots, and even Willie Nelson, and I'm not in the country thing, but you can take a lot of those songs and they are forever songs.
Who are you listening to in the car these days, other than Grace Potter?
I'm a serious girl. I go to the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Okay,
That channel.
You're staying true to your genre there.
I
got
am,
it.
but I love Alanis. I just love Alanis Morissette because she's a lot, in my opinion, a lot of successful writers and performers make it from one word, and it's called pain. Like even Jelly Roll, that's from his pain. Adele, who's, oh my gosh, she's my icon right now. Her first album did so much better because she was hurting. Now she's all happy, and the songs don't have the same thing because passion. You've got to have passion. Like Alanis, there'll be no album that Alanis could ever do like Jagged Little Pill.
That was a special album.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
You Ought to Know. Isn't there people in your life you'd love to sing You Ought
Was
to
that
Know
like
to?
96, 97?
Yes,
Just came out of
yes.
nowhere and took the world by storm.
It did.
Yeah, she was a trip for sure.
Yeah, I hope to go see her this summer. She's in
Yeah,
Charlotte.
she playing PNC with
Yeah.
Who's with her on that?
Uh,
A couple other big names. I'll have to look it up, but yeah, no, I'm glad to see her back out on the road. Probably a little too big to get at Silverados. She's playing PNC. That's about 3 times our capacity.
Is it?
Yeah. But
I bet you could get some other ones though.
Yeah. No, we're gonna keep them coming for sure.
And it's like I've done so many weird things, Corey. Like last year, I played the Leaf Festival, and that was very interesting.
Yeah. Not really your crowd normally.
No, but they loved me.
I'm sure
was
they
weird.
did.
And
Everybody loves you, Marsha.
No, but I was going to say, I've been very blessed that women like me.
Yeah.
You know, you think, oh, this girl, all the guys will just like her for this or for that. But it's not true. I have a lot of female fans and friends, and people come out and hear me. And I do a remake on one of these, my last CD called Love's Been Rough on Me. And it's an old Etta James song, but we turned it all around to, it's really now kind of an original song. But Love's Been Rough on Me has girls crying in the audience. And I think that's a really big compliment, is you've reached their soul if you can make them cry.
Yeah. And, you know, you don't put off that vibe of, I got to be the best in the room. You give off a very loving, very welcoming vibe. So I think
I don't want to distance myself from the women.
I think it's easier for women to be your fan because of that vibe that you put off. Jen with Diamonds and Whiskey is a lot like that. She's very supportive of other women, and you can feel that, you know, where if a woman's got to be the best in the room, everything's a competition.
When we played here in the blues thing, I invited Peggy up, and why not?
Yeah,
you know, why not?
Exactly.
But there's the downside of women in the business, because a lot of times you are not taken seriously. I've had so many things happen. Like when I was trying to promote my album back in the late 80s, I went to LA and did a thing with Capitol Records, and the guy wasn't paying me any attention. He was on his phone, on his whatever. And I guarantee you, if I was a guy, he would have given me 3 minutes of full attention. But
this is like in a one-on-one interview? He's just brushing you off? Wow.
Yeah, he brushed me off. And it was so funny because everybody at the beach still remembers Sugar Creek. Do you remember that band? Mm-hmm. Their stuff was in the trash can, their promo stuff. And I thought, oh, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. But he didn't even hear me.
So I have to make a confession.
Okay.
There was once a time where I was getting 10 to 15 business cards, CDs, something for a band dropped on my desk at the social every single day.
Oh, God.
And it does become a lot.
It does.
I was just a little bar owner in Nashville. For him, everybody in the country's trying to get his attention.
That's right.
So
you understand his side.
No, I don't understand him disrespecting you as a woman, but seeing those in the trash can, I've been guilty of that because there's just so many. I can't keep up.
Right.
At times. But no, if you're sitting in front of him, if you made it that far, he can at least look you in your eyes.
That's what I said.
And hear you out. Yeah.
I'm sitting like this close, you know.
Yeah, that's just common respect. Common courtesy.
And I had the cassette. Gave him. So he put the cassette on, but he was on the phone. He didn't hear any of that.
Well, I'm sorry that part didn't work out, but I sure am glad you didn't give up.
I'm not a quitter.
That's right. All right. Well, before we wrap this episode up, tell everybody where they can find your music, your merch, any website, social media, and then we'll look to 2024 with a bunch of new calendar dates for sure at my venues, but
I would love it
around town too. We'll make sure that everybody knows you're back.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm back.
But tell me where everybody can find you now.
Well, my website's being worked on, but you can go to the landing page and see promo from the band.
Okay.
And it starts with that big stage at Harrah's, and it's a real good landing start.
Now, is that just MarshaMorgan.com?
MarshaMorganBand.com.
MarshaMorganBand.com. And on Facebook?
Yeah. Okay. I have my name, which I already have 5,000 friends. They won't let me take any more. But there is a Marsha Morgan Band Facebook page, too. And I have a lot of songs on YouTube.
Okay.
A lot of songs. And one of them they ought to check out is This Girl Needs a Tune-Up.
This Girl Needs a Tune-Up. All right. So before we say goodbye to Marsha, we're going to play. Now, is this a music video?
What is it?
This Girl Needs a Tune-Up. Is that a music video where they can see and hear?
I think it's on YouTube. I'm not sure.
What's your favorite music video that you want our audience to hear? We'll play it right now.
Okay, probably Looking for a Light with Paul Davis on it.
Looking for a Light. Y'all check it out right now.
I walked the first mile and tried to walk tall. Walking tall ain't all people say it Sometimes I felt like crying and crying all along. It's just what people say it is. And I was looking for a light in this world, some kind of sign that would keep me trying. Looking for a light in this world. Somehow you came, brought so many changes. We traveled through time, walked hand in hand together, walking hand in hand. It's just what people say it is. We'll struggle sometimes, but our love will last forever. Forever lasting love. It's just what people say it is. And I was looking for a light in this world, some kind of sign that would keep me trying. Looking for a light in this world. Somehow you came, brought so many changes. And I was looking for a light in this world, some kind of sign that would keep me trying. Looking for a light in this world. Somehow you came, brought so many changes. Looking for a light in this world, some kind of sign that would keep.
All right, you heard it right here on Cosmic Kool-Aid. That is Looking for a Light with the Marsha Morgan Band. And you did that with who?
Paul Davis.
Paul Davis.
And his band.
And his band.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come on here. It's been a lot of fun hearing
It has.
your journey. Is there anything else that our audience must know about you before we say goodbye?
They must know I'm really easy to work with. So I'm going to be looking for new musicians real soon.
So, Asheville, North Carolina bar owners, event venue owners, wedding planners, the Marsha Morgan Band is back. They are available, and let's get them some work.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Marsha. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Corey.
I'm Corey Short. This has been episode 23, Cosmic Kool-Aid. We are out.